Hey everyone, we're Tom and Bunny, and we got Bama here. Bama wants her stuffed animal. Hold on a minute here. Let me get her. If you're watching us on YouTube, this is Bama Bear. Right, Bama?
She doesn't know that we have to work.
So, we're Tom and Bunny from TomandBunny.com, and if you are interested in pineapple topics, check us out on YouTube and on podcasts on all the major podcast sites, Tom and Bunny. And if you can, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Tom and Bunny. And we work for Tom'sTrips.com, your leader in adult lifestyle travel to destinations all around the world with cruises, resorts, and events. We asked if these videos help you, and we've done a lot of videos. If these videos help you, please help us by booking any of your trips with Tom's Trips, because this is how we get paid to do these videos. It costs you nothing, and oftentimes you save money booking with Tom's Trips.
Yes, and even if you look at it and you say, oh, well, they don't have a group that week, I can still book you.
Yes.
If it's available online, I can book it for you.
Yep. We can book hedonism all year long, and we can also book desire and temptation, as well as the bliss, desire, and temptation cruises.
Yes.
And Nadia Nollins.
Of course. And now splash parties.
And splash parties. So today's topic is...
Help you stay out of the doghouse.
Yeah, stay out of the doghouse, because Bunny, she brought this up a couple weeks ago.
I brought it up several months ago when I was first approached. I mean, we're approached a lot with different things.
So let's give the scenario. What we're seeing is neglect.
yeah, it is. Yeah. Neglect on your spouse.
Yeah.
So basically what's happened...
Well, what do you have written down up here?
Let's just start. When you're getting ready to go on a lifestyle vacation, to one of the great events,
the clubs,
even a club or a night out with another couple or a single, you want to talk about possibilities of scenarios. So you want to know where your partner is in line with you.
And where your boundaries are.
You don't want to be 10 steps ahead of your partner. And
you got to make sure that you both, like Bunny says...
Without your partner knowing.
Without your partner knowing, yeah. Our previous video, we talked about our boundaries. And we started off with a book of rules of what we couldn't do. And then we created boundaries based on our actual real-life experiences and activities, because we talked about each scenario. Even still today, 20-some years later, almost 30 years later, we talk about every scenario as if it were a first-time scenario, and we want to know what we liked about it, what we could have done better. To make it even more fun. But and not a requirement, if there was anything we did not like about the scenario, we would either discuss it out or adopt a boundary about it. One of our boundaries is we keep an eye on each other during the whole socializing to play all the time. Not that we're watching each other like a hawk. We're watching to make sure that we're all on the same page. We're having a good time. If someone's not having a good time, we can pick up the cues. That goes for either me or Bunny. I want me or Bunny.
That even goes for the other couple. If I'm seeing something that one of them isn't feeling it or feeling clicky, I will even say, "Hey, is everything okay?"
I've seen Bunny where the guy was struggling, and Bunny's called the wife over because we all know each other's buttons to push, and there are times of emergency where somebody's trying their best, but they're not just making the grade, and sometimes it's the spouse that gets them over the
Yeah, absolutely. And I've done it for Tom before.
Many, many times.
Many times. I'll be like,
Because-
hold on, let me help you. He's, let's get him back to where he needs to be.
Well, because like with any new people, they don't know my buttons, and therefore I may not really care for what they're doing to me. Mm-hmm. And then Bunny will say, hold on, let me show you a couple things. Not that the whole point of the pineapple lifestyle is to experience different types of experiences.
Right.
And then hopefully we'll bleed off of that and bring it home with us.
But we also know that when guys aren't feeling it, that it tends to deter the play situation a little bit. So sometimes you need help.
So one thing that Bunny's been getting a lot of comments on, I haven't gotten them, but they've been coming to Bunny, is a lot of frustrations where their spouse is more into the other person and not caring about their feelings or their, at the time, level of security.
Correct.
Or safe space.
Yeah, so like...
I love using that word now.
I actually have seen it just...
Like our glow outfits.
I've seen it just recently on a chat where one of the spouses was texting back and forth too much, and even though he was asked to stop, he still hasn't. And that
is that the one where they have the group chat?
No.
Oh,
this is
so I saw one today where they have a 4-way group chat or a 3-way group chat. Because it's a single female, and the husband is. Okay, they were private messaging at first, and then when they started to make plans to meet up, they then added his wife into a group chat. And so that way she was aware, so that way when the husband went out on a date, she was aware of all the plans and everything. Then she found out that they were texting the husband and the other girl still privately and excluding her. Now, we would have a major issue if one of us did that with the other.
And for me, that's just another form of cheating in my eyes.
Well, in our eyes,
because it's a mentally. Mm-hmm. Cheating doesn't have to just be physical.
Right.
So, and I am seeing that a lot, and it's not people that have been in this life for a long time. It's most of the people that are just starting because they're so excited and they're jumping in with both feet, and they're forgetting that they have a partner with them.
Right.
So they're like going forward, and then they're like, oh crap, I pissed off my partner.
Well, without saying any names, we've seen it happening at Hedonism with a couple where they weren't even together. The female brought the guy, and the guy was just bam, 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 bam. And it kind of created a wedge because she didn't feel included in any of his stuff. So I think she brought the wrong person.
Oh, and that happens. That happens a lot.
He's a nice enough guy, but
the fact is if you're married or you have a spouse or a partner or anything, you need to include them in your train of thought.
Right.
So I always, the best thing is to talk about scenarios like if you're going out to a club, kind of think about what could possibly happen.
I mean, you don't have to overthink it.
No.
I always say go to the club with the anticipation of nothing's going to happen except just you and your wife or you and your husband, depending on who's watching this video. Just going and having a good time with no expectations, and if something happens, be prepared.
But that's where I'm saying
I know.
You need to discuss those scenarios. Right. You say, we're going to go have a good time, but if this happens, do we want to go forward?
Right.
How far do we want to go? You need to have those already kind of in your little guidelines.
I know. Like if a single or a couple... what are the signals if we're not interested? One of us isn't interested. I mean, always be aware of your partner's feelings before anybody else's.
Right. So one of the scenarios that I had is there was a foursome going on, and three of them seemed to be having a good time, and the one was just kind of standing out on the outside because he didn't really know how far it would go and how far he could go.
Or he was allowed.
His wife was having a great time, and then he decided to have intercourse with the other female, and his wife freaked
The
out.
F out.
So she was like, "No, you were not supposed to do that."
Right.
It was basically implied it was going to be all about her, but he didn't know that.
Well, I mean, I want it to be all about you, but I want to be included.
I know. I know, but 2 days later, she still was not speaking to him.
Wow.
So,
and with that, I was telling Bunny, you know, a lot of people do videos, TikToks, podcasts, that the pineapple world is less divorces than any other field or any other lifestyle. But first off, there are no statistics. Not one single statistic out there goes specifically on pineapple people. Did you get divorced? Yeah. Okay, then boom. But no, seriously.
I know.
But they
what
all
you're talking
claim that they know these statistics out there, and there are none. So the fact is we ran a club for 20 years. We saw a lot of divorces. Was it because of the lifestyle? Who knows? Who cares? The fact is we're thinking that if they did get a divorce, a lot of it was probably just they couldn't communicate with each other.
That's exactly what it was. Because I even, he was like, every day he'd come to me and talk to me, and I'm like, you need to talk to her. She's not talking to me. Well, that's part of the problem. Because
that's a huge problem.
If you're pissed off at your spouse or your partner, you need to communicate, not just sit there and...
And guys, take this as a hint. Don't get so pissed off you leave your wife at a resort or a club by herself.
Oh my God, no.
Because revenge sex is real. It's big. We've seen guys get pissed off at their girl and leave thinking they're going to be all macho and she's going to come running. Hell no, we've seen the girl bang the entire club. Mm-hmm. And then go home and tell him all about how he screwed up.
Yep.
And then they're divorced.
Yeah.
I'm not laughing about the divorce. I'm just saying it's just part of life.
Well, obviously, if he left her at the club, he's left her before.
Right. And also, be careful about fantasies of, like having your wife do all these guys, because sometimes the wife can resent you. Mm-hmm. In the beginning, she might be submissive and might be kind of for it. Where's she at?
But if your partner says, "Hey, I don't like this," or "I don't want to do this again,"
everything should stop until you talk about it.
Right. Don't try to convince. Don't try to push the subject, especially that night or that weekend.
Sorry, I'm looking for our dog.
If somebody says that they don't like something, now is not the time to push it. Now is the time to stop it, and we can revisit that later.
Go home. Yeah. Sleep on it. I mean, it's kind of like that drunk person who wants to apologize and become besties again 5 seconds after a huge argument. Right. It's not the time or place.
There are certain scenarios that, definitely need a little bit of talking out and need it more than 10 minutes. Sometimes, you can be pissed off at each other for quite a while.
Right.
And don't let extracurricular or fun time come in between yourselves. And and that was the other thing, is I'm hearing a lot, and it's both from male and female, that their partner is paying more attention to their play partner than they are.
I have seen that. Mm-hmm. And
it's almost like they come in and they're like, "Oh, there's my friend," and they're like gone.
Right.
and they don't pay attention. They don't check in on their partner to make sure that they're okay or they're having a good time and they're lovey-dovey over here and the partner's like this. No, read that body language. If that's something that you don't want, sorry, I talk with my hands. If that's something that makes you feel comfortable, you need to let your partner know. And if your partner says, this is making me feel uncomfortable, then you need to discuss it and not just let it roll off of you.
No, I totally, I'm hearing you.
Because we've seen it.
We've seen it a lot. And I just, me and Bunny have always been able to communicate, and communication is the key to a successful marriage or a successful time in the pineapple world. Communication is just important in life in general. If you cannot openly talk about everything with your spouse, I don't have any words.
No.
I mean, I don't have any words of encouragement, because my encouragement is for you to communicate with your spouse.
Absolutely. And communication also means body language. You've got to be able to read your partner too.
Right.
There might be a scenario where they're gagged. And they can't say anything. But just...
Have you been gagged?
No, you know that would not happen.
You were gagging the other night.
I know I was gagging the other night. I have a bad gag reflex.
Spit on that thing.
But no, there could be a situation like with Tom. He's deaf. Yeah. So he's got to constantly be watching.
I do, because I take my hearing aids out.
And sometimes if he doesn't get this look, he doesn't understand that, I'm
right.
But no, you know your partner well enough that you know when, by looking at body language, by looking at expressions, that they're not comfortable. And
right.
That's when you need to pay attention. And you need to determine, especially for the ones that are guilty of giving the play partner way much more attention than their other partner, you need to reevaluate if that's what you really want. Because you keep pushing that level, and you're going to end up in divorce.
I'm just letting Bunny talk. This is her topic.
This is my topic. I'm not used to just letting Bunny talk.
I'm not. I'm usually the one talking, but I'm just letting you free flow on this one.
Yeah, because I just look at him and I just like see the hamster. And I'm like, is he going to fall asleep? Or?
No. I'm actually intrigued because you wanted to talk about this topic because, like I said, people don't approach me on that stuff. They approach Bunny because she's a female and they feel less threatened, or they think I'm going to judge them. And I don't judge anybody. Me and Bunny are always willing to help everybody. Mm-hmm. We don't want to see anyone break up or have a divorce. We also don't want to see somebody ruin a marriage either.
No, absolutely not.
Me and Bunny are 38 years married, 39 years together. We were always told in the pineapple world that it would break us up, we'd be jealous. And yeah, we've had our share of jealousies and everything. We just talk, we communicate. I mean, I just can't express it enough that communication.
You know,
I had to get that word out.
Yes. I was talking to somebody last October. And I was talking to another gentleman, and we were talking about that same scenario. And I said, you know, Tom and I have been together 38 years, and I still get jealous. And he goes, do you get jealous, or do you get envious? And I'm like, excuse me? He's like, are you jealous that he's really having a good time? Or are you envious that he's having a good time and you're not?
That's a great.
And I'm like, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to think, is it jealous or is it envious? And that's when I say, fine, I'm going to take my ball and go home.
Yep, and she takes me home.
But I was like, yeah, you're that. I was like, after all these years, I said, you know what, that kind of slapped me in the head. That was like an eye-opener because, yeah, you're absolutely right. And he goes, because of the fact is you're not jealous. You're still having a good time, but you're envious because you know what she's getting and that you like getting that, and you're not right now.
I'll say that's true.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say that's 1,000% true. Because when you go meet up with people, whether it's single or a couple, you don't know what you're going to get until you're
right.
I mean, these pictures with Coke cans and remote controls, you don't know if it's the tiny remote or the big remote. You don't know if it's the little 6-ounce can of soda or the 12-ounce can or the 16-ounce. But just, I mean, yeah. I totally get that. I mean, I've been with females where they are more pillow princesses.
Yes.
And so I'll use the word envious. I'm envious that the other guy has you, and I am
trying to do everything under the sun to help.
Yeah, I guess I feel neglected.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah. But that was an eye opener. I'm like, whoa, okay, that was a good one that he brought up.
So you're no longer jealous, you're just envious.
Yes, absolutely. But I think if Tom went out on a date,
you'd be jealous.
I would be so jealous.
Oh, you'd be a stalker.
I would
be following us, and
that is way beyond my comfort.
I'd look over my shoulder and she'd be tucked down looking at. Yeah, no, that would be Bunny.
I would. Yeah, that's way beyond my comfort zone.
But yeah, we see it at events all the time. I mean, a lot of events, even people we're close with, we never say anything because it's not our place unless they ask us, because we don't interject ourselves into other people's lives except for here on video, and you're able to hit stop or close out the window. You don't have to watch us or listen to us. But we see a lot of people where they put a lot more focus on their play partner than they do their own spouse. We just seen it a couple of events ago. And the whole dating scenario where, I mean, me and Bunny, after 39 years, we want to be this close to each other. We work together, we live together, we are this close together, believe it or not, 23 to 24 hours a day, every day, 7 days a week, all year long. We're really not apart, and we prefer not to be.
The only time we're apart is when we're in the restroom.
That's the only time we're apart. But we're still within
yelling range.
Yeah. But I couldn't, if we are, I mean, if we're friends with another couple, yeah, we're totally good. Don't take it out of context that we can pal around and hang on to the other person and do fun stuff. But if it comes down to just intimately holding hands, or acting like you're the couple and not me and Bunny, that's just a different scenario for us. But we have a lot of friends where we can pal around with each other, and we don't get envious. We'll go and rooster block each other, no problem.
Yep, absolutely. But yeah, so that's just the biggest thing is keep your eyes open, keep your mind open, and keep an eye on your partner too, and make sure that they're within the loop.
And people can lose interest in each other if you're not showing the other one the attention that they that they deserve or need. I was just telling somebody, and I know I talked about the divorcing. We have an album in our Facebook, and we had 109 couples, and people, whenever they say, oh yeah, the divorce rate's so low in the lifestyle because it's statistically proven because you can communicate that no divorcing. Emotions can also create huge issues, because when you have an emotional attachment to someone else that your spouse can't compete with,
Correct.
But I'll pull up that photo album and I'll like, see these couples, they look happy, right? And they're like, yeah. All 75% of them are divorced.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
75%. And like I said earlier, we don't know if it's because of the lifestyle, and it could be any number of reasons, but it probably all boils down to a common denominator of lack of feeling the other one's like lack of interest, or no communication, or no sexual desires, or
Right, absolutely. And
at 39 years we still think that you should be desiring each other sexually as you did when you were dating, because when you were dating, the focus honestly was to get laid.
right. Exactly.
It was to find your soulmate. It was to find a compatibility factor. That's where I never understood the no sex before marriage, because then you're kind of stuck. And there's a lot of divorces on that because
Oh yeah.
they didn't measure up to each other's what they thought would be like.
No, I completely get that.
Yep.
I completely get that.
The whole hot wifing thing, it works for some people, and we've seen it not work for a lot of people. So hot wifing is something we would never recommend. If someone does it, that's fine. We have no issues with it, but we would never try to talk anyone into it, nor would we recommend it, because I don't think a lot of people could handle that scenario.
Well, and the fact is if you really think that your wife wants to do it, then you really need to make sure that she really wants to do it. Because we met some, and he was just a narcissist, and he basically forced her to do it.
Yes.
And
I mean, he was literally calling guys.
And
and he even asked us, because we were meeting them. And next thing you know, he's like, hey, do you mind if I have a couple singles come over and nail her while you guys are here? And I'm like, no, dude, we're out of here.
He got off on it. She hated it.
Yeah.
She
wanted us to take her out of there. And I'm like, I didn't know what to do in that scenario.
She said, I am leaving him. I feel used. I don't want to do this. So you've got to make sure that you're both on the same level.
Yeah.
And if things, like I said, I just can't reiterate the fact that if feelings change, if you don't want to do it, then you need to stand up and say, I don't like this. I don't want to do this anymore. And then your partner should respect you and figure things out.
Well, the whole thing about the pineapple world is compromises. Somebody has a fantasy, and hopefully you can let your spouse live out their fantasies. That's the whole point of including other people into your life, because some fantasies require more than one person, and a person that's willing to do things that your spouse isn't willing to do.
Well, and also, too, fantasies can be just in your head, and reality is a good slap kick in the nuts.
And we've seen people break up because one of them had all these wild fantasies, and they came true, and they couldn't handle it, and they wanted nothing to do with the other person. And it was their fantasies that backfired on them, and they were the ones disgusted with the other one for helping fulfill those fantasies. How messed up is that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let's go back into the narcissist there.
Yeah.
But so, no, yeah. It's a very, very fine line, I think.
I'm pulling out my glasses.
But not only is it that fine line, but like you say, it's just that communication. You've got to communicate. Just make this pineapple world as fun as you can.
If you're not
because
having
it's supposed to be.
Yeah, if you're not having fun, if you can't go out and without having something to do with someone else, it may come back to haunt you later. Just remember that your spouse is the most important person. Like
Tom and I say, we are very, very social pineapple people. So for us, it's just a matter of going out, having fun, flirting, harmlessly flirting. If it leads to something, then that's great. If not, then we value a friendship. We are now part of the Jeep community. Well, we're not having, we're having fun, but we're not meeting the people that we want to meet.
Right.
So now we're looking for pineapple Jeepers.
Yes.
So we can go out and have fun with people that we like to have fun with.
Pineapple people are just more fun to be
They
around.
are much more fun to be around. You don't have to worry about offending somebody because you're wearing a too low cut of a shirt, or you can go on a Jeep ride with wearing side boob shirt without
no bra.
Right, exactly.
No, it's true, because I just put up a thing because we're going to go to Jeep Invasion in Pigeon Forge in August.
Yep.
And it's going to be all through Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, and last year there was like 50,000 Jeeps. They're expecting more this year. They say to go a mile, it might take you an hour to 2 hours, because it's just it's a slow crawl. And we're looking forward to that. So all these people are posting, like we have a solid black Jeep. So they're doing a black Jeep meetup, and they're going to take a big picture of all the black Jeeps. Did you see the pink Jeep meetup? I didn't realize there were hundreds of them. Mm-hmm. And there's just a big picture with, it looks like 1,000 pink Jeeps all in one picture.
I might have to be in a gray Jeep next year.
A gray Jeep?
I told you, if I get a Jeep, what I'm doing with it.
What are you doing with it?
I put in a big thumper on it.
Oh. So there were people about the red Jeeps and white
Yellow,
Jeeps,
white,
every Jeep color. And then somebody goes, is there going to be a singles meetup? And I thought, well, that's a great idea, because mostly a lot of it's going to be families. Mm-hmm. So I found, if you're familiar or not, on the Jeep they have trail badges, and you earn them. But there was an upside down pineapple with horns and a tail, and it just says plays well with others 4x4. And I posted that. I didn't think it was going to get approved, because this is a very family friendly Facebook group, and 2 weeks later all of a sudden it popped up approved, and I was like, oh my god, there's like almost 18,000 profiles in here. I'm like, I am either going to get slaughtered or... So immediately I got 150 either likes, hearts, or laughing emojis. I got a couple of angry emojis. I got 3 comments that were negative. One is, really, this community has to allow those people in it? And I'm thinking, look around at all your friends, family, co-workers, people you sit next to in church. You probably know pineapple people and not realize it, because we don't just come out. We know how to act. Most of us know how to act normal in a social environment. A lot of the comments are pretty good, and people are sharing it, people are tagging it. And there's a vendor who's going to be selling little Jeep badges, and they have one that says upside down pineapple, if you know, you know. And they're like $25, and I'm like, oh, I might have to buy one. I don't want to put it on my Jeep, but I just thought to support that. And I was talking to her. She's not in the lifestyle, but I commended her for producing stuff that would be promotable or sellable to other people that are not in her demographic.
Correct.
Mostly the challenge coins are military, police, firemen, first responders. So it's kind of cool to see an actual real bona fide upside down pineapple badge. So we'll get that, but I was talking to her, and I was telling her, I said, probably 20% of that group is in the pineapple lifestyle somehow, because in California they did a study, and the local news, and they went around surveying people, and it came out that 1 in 4 couples admitted to at least trying something in the pineapple world one time. They didn't ask any farther, so that meant if you walk your neighborhood and count 100 houses, 25 possibly could be pineapple people.
Yep.
You go to your work, you got 100 people that work in your office, 25 could be pineapple people. I know if you're a police officer, it's probably 85%.
A school teacher.
School teachers, nurses. But, I mean, different lines of work are going to accumulate that 25% down. But that also goes for churches. Mm-hmm. I mean, the moral majority aren't so moral when they keep a secret like this.
Yep. Did you see the one going around now that there was some type of a list, and it says the most swingers per capita is Pennsylvania?
Oh, I the one that sent you that.
Yeah.
And, well, but they didn't even put California on there.
No.
So they're skewed. I mean, and I even wrote to you that you could tell they were non-pineapple people who did it just by the way they worded a few things.
Yes.
They were very naive or trying to be just plain, where someone like us would have wrote the list and got a little more definitive on it. But when I told this girl who is going to be selling these badges about the pineapple world, she goes, "Oh my God, my friend basically said word for word what you just said, that there's going to be 20% of this group that would buy that badge and stuff like that. They might not put it on their Jeep, but they might keep it at home. We want to make a plaqueboard with different Jeep badges, and that would be one of them." And then she asked me to take it off because I did promote it, that she was going to be selling them. So she must have gotten a little pushback. And, you know, I don't disagree with her wanting me to remove my post, because I don't want anyone to be doxxed or hurt. And she wasn't even in the pineapple.
And that's what I disagree with, because everybody has a right to their own business. Everybody has a right to make money, whether it's selling that or selling a set of tires.
Right.
And that's where I just get so frustrated with people out there in the community that are so hateful towards another group of individuals.
Yeah, and that group of individuals, they just have a stigma in their head about that group of individuals.
Right.
But the fact is that group of individuals is a more honest group. They're more caring about other people.
They're the first ones to jump up.
We needed to paint our house in California.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about it. Me and Bunny were going to paint it by ourselves. And we had like 10 people show up ready to work. I mean, not socialize. They were pushing. Let's do it. One day, start to finish. Prime, painted,
and done.
Done.
When we bought our house in California, we were moving 80 miles away, and we didn't know where we were going to put all of our stuff, and somebody just randomly called us. We'd met him maybe once or twice, and he's like, "I got this property, I've got this, I've got that. You're more than welcome to park your trailers here."
Yeah.
I mean, just out of the blue. So our community is so much more helpful and is so much more caring, I think, than most any of the other communities.
And we don't have judgments.
No judgments.
And that's the difference between the pineapple world. Well, there are a lot of people that, I know we're totally off topic because we're done with the other topic, I think. But there's a lot of people that go to pineapple clubs and events, even hedonism. There's a lot of nudists. There's a lot of people that want to wear their bottoms and no tops. There's people that want to be naked. There's people that want to play with others. And everyone gets along because, you know, if someone comes up and says, "Hey, well, you want to play?" All you got to say is, "No, well, I'm not into that, but thank you." Take it as a compliment.
But it's
Don't
basically,
take it as a...
we're all in the same mindset of just want to have fun and meet people.
Right.
And enjoy everybody's being around people and having fun.
The socializing.
Yeah, the socializing. And yeah, there's people outside that they're so closed-minded that they won't even think of anything beyond you're having sex with somebody else.
Right, and then that goes along with, and I guess I will add into the topic of this, when we see people that focus on someone more than their own spouse, me and Bunny actually avoid both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because we just don't want drama, and most people in the pineapple world, they want to be drama free, and we want to have fun. We want to smile. We don't want to be the shoulder that they're always crying on or talking about.
Correct. Very correct. Yep. All right. I think we're done with this one.
We are done.
We are done with you.
We're done with you. Dang. So until next time, definitely follow us everywhere. Just search Google TomandBunny, all one word, TomandBunny, and book your next trip with tomstrips.com, your leader in adult lifestyle travel, and let us show you a good time.
You got that right. We'll see you soon.
We'll see you soon.